Today's video is all about AREON, the most comprehensive Layer 1 Web3 blockchain crypto has ever seen. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive, checking into the team, the tokenomics, the utility, and the overall value proposition to figure out whether AREON should make it to our portfolio for the up-and-coming bull run. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. And the question is AREON the opportunity? Guys, we're going to be doing a deep dive into this project, looking into some of the details about it so that we can get fundamentally bullish. It's important that as we continue this bullish run that we are definitely fundamentally bullish on some of these projects, especially on those red days when we should be buying the dip. All right, guys, let's continue here. Let's use the website as our main platform to kind of figure out what this project is about and look for those details. To start off, okay, the most comprehensive project out there that has ever been seen in the crypto space. That's a very bold statement, of course, very interesting for the most part, right? Let's keep on going. Area price, okay, we can see it at 11 cents. Decentralized blockchain built to enable scalable, user-friendly apps for the world. All right, market cap 13 million, a very small market cap here, guys. We're talking about a nice gem that could definitely do well. If it does well, you can see that there's a lot of potential growth for the future. The mainnet is live, which is very, very important because in previous iterations it didn't have its own layer one. It basically was I think on the Binance Smart Chain, if I wasn't mistaken. So finally it's on its mainnet doing its own thing. Mainnet transactions, 2.2 million transactions. All right, guys, let's keep on going down. Let's see if we can get into some more here. We work with the future thinkers, enterprises and startups. Okay, diverse partners, leading. Okay, so you guys know what I have to say about this. Usually when I do deep dives, I don't like when I see a bunch of logos there just hanging around with no real detail whatsoever. And I did go scrape through their Twitter, and I really didn't see much happening there. These are not partners. Mexi, Bitmart, BitGet, they're just exchanges, and yes, they have liquidity on the exchanges, but those are not partnerships, right? They're just arrangements. They're just ways of which we can get these tokens or coins distributed. So let's see if they have any strategic partnerships. CoinGecko is not one of them. Benziga is obviously not one of them. Maybe Hackin, maybe CoinMarketCap is definitely not one of them. So you can see that right quick, a lot of these logos are just here for nice publicity, and for me that's not a very genuine way to do things. What we should do is have different categories, what relationships they may have, exchange listings, fine. Any other listings like on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, but what are the strategic partnerships? Chainlink is not a strategic partnership in a sense because Chainlink is an oracle. They need Chainlink for that matter in order to get some of their data feeds. So I don't know, I'm very critical when it comes to these things because it starts to look like some projects start to look for hype that way and engagement that way. So I'm just trying to be very, very critical about the type of relationships they think that they're critical and strategic. So let's move on. Let's not hang out there because, as you know, the market cap is very low, so I'm not expecting so many strategic partnerships, and in fact it may not be even necessary given that AREON chain is a layer one and it has a lot of things going on it natively already, so maybe partnerships are not even that necessary. Let's keep on going. A unique architecture, definitely so, a very unique architecture. Let's keep on going down. What else do we have? Proof of area. I think that's the majority of the not only ambiguity but the uniqueness, right? There's a bit of ambiguity here because they came up with their own consensus mechanism, which if you kind of boil it down, it's not too difficult to understand. But for the most part, what you're doing is you're staking. You're staking obviously liquidity. You're staking assets. You're staking area tokens, coins, and for that matter, what you're going to be given is a sort of environment, sort of, I hate to say it, but called metaverse, let's say, where you're able to use this space as an area to advertise or even build applications and so on and so forth. Even from this matter, things are a little bit vague, but this is the documentation that they provide, and we'll talk about this in a little bit more detail. But really, it's a space, it's a proof of space or a proof of area, what they're talking about here. And the way you stake, when you stake, you get access to a certain space or a certain area, and the bigger the area, the more let's say voting and governance power you have, because obviously there's a governance aspect to this utility of the coin itself. So pretty good. The architecture, a lot of this has to do with that. The unique architecture allows AREON chain to deliver impressive performance. Of course, a lot of the layer ones nowadays are saying the same thing: performance, speed, scalability, and they're all saying that they're the best and the fastest, right? So we got to be critical as well. Just understand that the new wave of layer ones are all super fast. And all of this kind of goes back to what I was saying about that area, proof of area. In fact, this area, this space, this digital environment is built onto this concept called AREON City. So AREON City is a virtual world that serves as the central hub of the AREON ecosystem. So again, if you're a staker, you get a piece of property or a virtual space here on this metaverse, on this ecosystem, which is kind of interesting. The opportunities to AREON users: AREON City is made up of different areas such as area lands and so on, and market. Users can participate in events, shop, access special functions and services in these areas. Guys, this sounds like metaverse. Now, in some of their documentation, in fact, they go on to say that it is like a metaverse. Now, for me, guys, you know, this concept of metaverse reminds me of the previous bull run when we were talking about other projects. And, you know, to be honest, I wasn't really the keenest individual when it came to this concept of metaverse. I think the utility wasn't really there, and in fact, I thought that the market didn't really, really find it to be too valuable. And does the word metaverse in itself bring a bit of negativity into what they may be offering here? Now, I don't like metaverse concepts. I think that as of now, they haven't really shown us their true value and the utility, like I mentioned. So could the concept here relating to metaverse, in fact, draw people away from the project itself? Me personally, I don't want to get involved in metaverse projects. It's not a project. It's not a concept or a narrative that I'm interested in based on historical price action, historical performance, and overall community engagement, and so on and so forth. But like, again, this is not really a metaverse play, but yes, it is, right? They are just using this space or this area to show the size of how much you are staking, because the more you stake, the bigger the area that you have, and if you have a bigger area, therefore you have access to bigger things and bigger and better things on this metaverse. So there's a connection between space or area and how much you are going to be staking, for the consensus, to stabilize the security of the network. Now, again, that word metaverse, meta, kind of bothers me. I kind of would have liked a different word or a different concept, but I understand that what they're trying to do here, and it's quite interesting. All right, so let's move on. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more documentation as we keep on going, maybe something that we can talk about. Transactions per second, 600,000. Okay, fast as possible. Fast. I get it. A lot of these layer ones are very fast. Area land, face, again, back to this area land concept, face of blockchain in the metaverse. That word metaverse, as I'm saying, is that going to draw people away? So what's important is education here, to convert individuals into understanding exactly what they mean by this metaverse. The area land is a validator mechanism. That's all it is in area chain that enables the validation of transactions on the blockchain. So essentially what they're, again, it's the area, and the area represents your size, and the size of the area represents how you're going to be treated as a validator. Land is located on Area City, which is the metaverse. Guys, a lot of interesting stuff here, but I don't know if the market is ready for metaverse. That's the only thing. The AREON wallet. So they got their own wallet, which is a nice native wallet, very fast, simple, secure, great. That's a lot of us want to take our tokens or coins off chain. Right now, it is a layer one. I'm assuming that projects can be built on it. I don't see any other projects other than native projects being built here so far. The ecosystem is strong, but only within its own native ecosystem. The most innovative wallet to send and receive swap. The most. This is the thing here, guys. You're going to see a lot of these projects say they're the best or the most or this and that. Guys, there's a lot of great stuff out there, so just take this all with a grain of salt. User friendly interface, kept offline, best NFT wallet, the best, right? Ultimate wallet in management and freedom. You know, it's a wallet like any other, guys. There's lots of great wallets out there, so let's kind of neutralize a little bit of the hype language so that we can keep very objective. AREON AI, so this is good. Now what bothers me, or not bothers me, what concerns me, is that we're seeing a lot of projects that not necessarily were AI in the past are just trying to shove or kind of like integrate some AI within their, you know, their plethora of services or products that they got, and so they don't miss the boat. So they have a little bit of that hype going on with that narrative, because we know AI is a really hot topic in the last little while. So AREON AI is a system that works in harmony and artificial intelligence technology. This system not only limits itself to visual artifactual intelligence, but also aims to adapt it to the crypto industry and users. So far, nothing really. AREON AI offers customized solution for crypto users' needs to make more accurate predictions by analyzing data related to cryptocurrencies. Okay, so if it's going to be an AI that is dedicated to crypto, providing information, I can see its utility and so on. And you know what? It's an easy implementation so that they are part of the club. I get it. And you know what? It's a good strategy. I'm not saying it's not, but they just need to make sure that it's just not just a lagging. It's not the concept is not just lagging behind their other services, that it's an actual product or service that, you know, can hold up on its own 2 feet. Yeah, that's one of the things that bothers me in the last, I'd say, few months, even prior, not recently, but prior, a few months back, we saw a lot of projects just putting AI into their on their website and everything in the roadmap, just to have that presence. And I don't think that's the case here. I think AREON has some really interesting possibilities here with using AI, given the fact that they are a metaverse type of play. I'm wondering how they can integrate that going forward. So they do have other projects here. You can see the NFT marketplace, the AREON cities, the metaverse kind of thing, AREON games. They call that no, they call the NFT marketplace Meta AREONs, which is Met AREONs, which kind of, you know, kind of confusing, but it's all good. AREON games and the AREON scan. The scan is not bad. The scanner is good. The screener is pretty good, so we can get a lot of information there. We'll visit that in a second. AREON education, which is pretty cool. I'm seeing a bit of a trend in this educational space, decentralized education. We see that Binance is getting involved in that. We see CZ getting involved in that. We got a lot of different projects getting involved in this decentralized education aspect of things. So quite interesting there. And then the AREON wallet. So you can see that their whole ecosystem right now is pretty native to AREON itself, which is a sign of strength. And that's why I believe that maybe their main focus is not finding partnerships. They're doing it all themselves, and strategic partnerships are not even that necessary. All right, let's keep on going, guys. The website is stellar. We're getting a lot of good information. Deep dive is just scrolling so far, which is a good thing because there's no ambiguity, no lack of transparency. Roadmap, clear roadmap, guys. We got time, okay, within range. You know, obviously not exact dates and time in itself, but quarter, second quarter, this is what we should expect, which is good. Third quarter, fourth quarter, and so on. At least we get an idea of where they're emphasizing their efforts and where the team itself is going to be focusing, right? Now, just remember the team, it is a decentralized project, but there's always a level of centralization, number one. So we got to understand that no matter how much a project, especially a smart contract project, says they are decentralized, there is a level of centralization, a degree of centralization. Now, in this case, they are governed by some sort of governance protocol. Now, they don't specifically say that they're governed by a DAO, but it is a DAO in the sense that if you're a token holder, a coin holder, or a staker, you are qualified to get into the governance, which, you know, obviously making decisions like where they're going next within the roadmap is when it's decentralized. It gives a sense of security that, you know, we can rely on a democratic process to get things happening, which is good. Decentralization is where it's at. I focus on decentralization quite a bit here on the channel. I give a lot of emphasis on those projects because that's where I feel the market needs to end up going and we need to support. So pretty good there. The Discord, X, if you want to go check them out, Telegram, of course. Guys, are going to show you a bit of metrics on the X account that they got going on. Not the greatest. Obviously, in the last little while, I would say in the last 2-3 weeks, we've been seeing a bit of a downturn in the crypto space in general with regards to engagement. If you're not a meme coin, you've been kind of, slumping over. But guys, that's when you got to really, put the pedal to the metal and get going, because, on those red days, or that when things are kind of quiet, is where you have that opportunity to really pierce the market. So we'll take a look at X in a second and see what they're going on. And as you can see, that concludes the website. We're already to the bottom of the website, and we already got some really good information. Now, let's jump right into the docs section, because in the docs section we can get a little bit more. What I like about this docs section is that it spends a little bit of time on education. I'm not going to get into that, because really it's a lot about what is blockchain, what is a coin, what is a token, what is the difference, a glossary, an introduction. There's a lot happening here with regards to not only AREON with specifics, but in crypto in general, which is good, because not only are you interested in educating an individual that's new to the space about AREON, but you're also educating them into what crypto is all about, and then hopefully converting them into someone that understands what AREON is trying to do here. So you can see staking, security, governance. This is part of the introduction of what AREON token is all about. You have a wallet, connect your wallet, MetaMask Trust Wallet, and Coinbase Wallet, so on and so forth. What else do we have here? That gas fees. There are gas fees, and this is how you pay the transactions. There is a burning mechanism, which is good, based on transactions, which is awesome, because eventually they want the overall total supply to decrease. I think it's to 100 million. We'll talk about that in a second. I got the exact numbers for you guys, so don't worry. But they want it to be deflationary, which we know that that is an important concept. We know that inflation is what causes problems and issues for the value of a particular, let's say, currency. But in this case, if you have a built-in deflationary mechanism, we can understand that eventually, with the decrease of supply, circulating supply, we should have a sustainable growth in value in the asset, right? So right now, pretty good, not bad. Very typical stuff here with regards to gas fees and so on, and nothing really to worry about in my book. I read through all of this. I suggest that you guys do the same thing, okay? Because they do a lot of comparisons even with other blockchains like Ethereum, and comparing how they work and their gas fees and so on and so forth. And as we know, Ethereum gas fees are crazy, but a lot of the layer ones are finding solutions without having layers on top, like layer twos, base layers. Layer ones are definitely doing their thing to fix those issues that other bigger, older projects like Ethereum have. Let's see what kind of adoption they get, and let's see what kind of ecosystem they can build. AREON, okay, this is that, encoding, pending state, signing, transactions. So a lot of good information. Governance, like we talked about before, proposal submissions, you can vote, inheritance and penalties. There's things, lots of stuff regarding how to get involved and what it means to be part of the governance team for AREON. So good stuff. Vesting, the vesting period. Do they have the vesting period here? No, not vesting. That's just showing you exactly what's happening here. Let's take a look at something that is a little bit more in tune with what we do here on these deep dives. Okay, so technicals are all definitely there. Go check it out. Smart contracts, they got smart contracts, which is good. Build with Solidity. So it is EVM contracts on AREON using Solidity, so it is EVM compatible. So that's pretty good there. So we can easily see a growth of ecosystem. Let's continue. What else do we have? Overview, run a node. You can run a node, become a validator again through staking and all that. It gives you the technicals. I'm just kind of run through this and see what else we can get. Okay, AREON chain, a little bit of detail here. The AREON token, a coin itself, combined with low transaction fees. Good stuff. 600,000 transactions per second. We talked about this. All right, let's get into something that is a little bit more AREON AI, the Academy. I think that's the education aspect of things. The tokenomics, AREON City. Before we go that, let's go check out what they say about AREON City, because the majority of you guys, majority of people are not really totally convinced about this AREON City concept. And I get it, because usually when you think about layer ones, you're getting coins, you're staking them up, and based on how many you stake, you get all kinds of features. I get it. But there's an added feature here with AREON, which is a piece of property or a piece of space or area that is in this city. So for that matter, it is like considered like a metaverse, right? So generate, create music, pictures, video, and sell NFTs, build a house or store, and auction in AREON City. So you get what I mean? We're getting into this metaverse concept. And there's a lot of financial freedom, okay? Earn, learn, enjoy, and so on. So they're trying to get into this metaverse narrative, as it was somewhat interesting in the previous bull run, and it did okay, but I think it kind of fizzled away. In fact, the way the bear market went, it really did come down pretty hard. Now, the question is this the time to expect a new wave, a new iteration of metaverse plays? And could AREON be one of those projects that are going to lead the way for the recovery of that narrative? And if that's the case, given the fact that AREON has so much other good things about it, I think that it would be a safe bet to say, look, if anyone's going to do, if any project's going to bring back the narrative, it could be AREON, given the fact that they have so many other good things going on just as a layer one itself, with a peppering of this metaverse concept within their consensus. So for me, that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I just worry about how the general market will perceive this metaverse branding or narrative kind of concept. You can see right here, purchased within AREON City metaverse. That's it, guys. I would read this for you, see what you find out of it, make your own conclusions. Let me know what you think about AREON City in the comment section below, and maybe we can join the Discord, guys. On the Discord we can have this conversation if you feel. Tokenomics, let's jump right into here. A little bit of interesting stuff. I know this is a big part of how we do deep dives. Of course, we want to know what's happening with the economic side of things, key aspects of the tokenomics. All right, so we can see right away that we got a nice graph here. The economic architecture, frequency, okay, project to market value, okay, and I don't see anything interesting up here. A lot of jargon, and like I said, they try to really educate, so they give you a lot of jargon, a lot of stuff happening there. What's more important here for us is how are the tokens going to be distributed across the market? Okay, so we can see that 20% is the community, 10% is to the backers, 10% is to the team. So what's the difference between a backer and a team? Right, so that for me starts to bring in a little bit of a question. The backer and the team in my book could easily be the same people or very related in some way. Okay, so team, backers, they're early stakeholders regardless of what it is, and that for me I start to question. Okay, so 20% is still not a bad deal for that category of early stakeholders, which includes the team and the backers. Okay, so listing liquidity, it's necessary. If we want to get on major exchanges, we need a little bit of that happening, so to provide to the exchanges. Public sale, fine, of course, we need that public sale, which is going to be sold to the public. Company reserve, again, who's in charge of this, which is a good thing to know, and who's in charge of the team tokens, who's in charge of the backers tokens. Regardless, they're already allocated. There's no real necessarily to be worried about who's in charge. 10% is going to the backers, 10% is going to the team, and then the company reserve, who's controlling that. Now this is where the governance comes in. This is where we want to know if the actual governance of the governance is going to control how these tokens are going to be deployed and used in to support the company in time of need, or whatever the case is. Okay, so not bad. Ecosystem development, I'm glad to see this is a 30%. Why? Because the reality is that it needs an ecosystem. Now, is it going to expand to third-party ecosystem players, or is it going to be just internalized ecosystem like we've been seeing so far? A lot of good applications, a lot of good stuff happening there within the AREON native projects, which is good. Is this 30% going to be put right back into those types of deals and improve them and support them, or are we going to help improve or support developers, third-party developers, to build on top of AREON chain itself? That is a good question. That is something that it's a bit interesting to me. I'm assuming that the 30% is also going to be governed by the governance, by the let's call it DAO, because I don't see any words about an official DAO here, but there's a governance mechanism here. And 20% to the community, I'm assuming that's going to be for rewards and so on and so forth, for any marketing or any marketing efforts there. So there's a bit of clarity, okay, so which is pretty good. Like I'm pretty secure like with this. I like the fact that this only amalgamates to about 20%, and for me that's not too crazy. Like, and of course there's a vesting period. Let's go see what this is all about. And you can see that there is a vesting period ecosystem. There's a vesting of 120 months, 60 months. So you can see that it's not like they're coming out all at once. There's a 12-month cliff, so you're gonna wait for 12 months after Genesis, in this case, when the new network went live, mainnet went live, and then all of a sudden we got 120-month linear, 60-month linear, and so on and so forth. So it's not like they're coming all at once to dilute the value of token holders of the tokens that people are holding. So that's a good thing. And a lot of times when we talk about vesting on token unlocks, we worry because after every unlocks, so many coins are going to hit the market and dilute the value. But in this case, we can see that it's a linear, slow progression over time. And I wonder how long they're thinking it's going to take for all of the tokens to hit circulation. But what's interesting is that there is a deflationary aspect of things, which is going to be burning the transaction fees. It's directly correlated to the transaction fees. 30% ecosystem development. So here's what I like is that 20% of the community, they actually describe and define the categories here. So if you want to know exactly what the community is all about and how those tokens are going to be allocated, here you go. The team, public sale, listing liquidity. So a lot of clarity here, guys. A lot of the times, you guys know that I do deep dives every single week. And as of now, every time I go look for some of the clarity, it's not there. This project gives you the clarity, which is good. I know there's a lot to read, but at least it's here. You can quickly skim through it. You can do a quick search on the document to find exactly what you're looking for, but it's better to have it here, clear, nice, and well-defined, which I appreciate. Deflationary approach. Again, let's see if I can pinpoint the exact information that we need here. Total supply is 250 million. Just understand that when mainnet was launched, they brought it to about 250 million, which is important because some information is still lingering there when it was on Binance Smart Chain. It's not the case. We're looking for updated information, and I'm glad to see that CoinGecko did update that information. So the deflation mechanism, it will basically burn last day of each quarter, a total of 4 times a year, which is good. Burning will be directly proportional to the transactions on AREON chain, which is good. And then will continue to operate until the total supply reaches 100 million AREON coins. So eventually it's going to stop the deflationary aspect, right? But look at that. Basically, it's going to cut it by way more than half. And we're going to go from 250 million to about 100 million. And in that period, yes, we're going to get token unlocks and so on and so forth. But we're also getting a deflationary aspect that will counterbalance the unlocks. But not only that, over time, as the circulating supply diminishes, we will see that the price should, because of the scarcity, we should see the price go up, which is a good balance. I like the mechanism, nice and clear, and you can see within 10 years, that's where the strategy supply it will reach about 100 million within 10 years, which is good. It was a good amount of time. We're seeing that all of this is well balanced. So yeah, pretty good stuff here. Nothing token mechanics to see what we got here. Feel free to read this. I saw some good stuff here before, but really, guys, there's a lot. Expanded utility, staking, again, very correlated to the space, the area that we're talking about on the metaverse, security and governance. All of this has a lot to do. You see, when it was on Binance Smart Chain, things were a little bit different, and now they're on the mainnet. So all of a sudden, things kind of change. So make sure that whatever tokenomics or coin metrics you're looking at, that it reflects the new AREON chain metrics. That's all about that. Disclaimer, okay. Legitimacy disclaimer, okay. Migration guide, roadmap. Let's see what they got here. Lots of clarity. Again, we saw it on the website where we can see lots of clarity. We can even see historical targets and pretty good stuff, guys. This is what we want. Now, I know it's a lot to be said when a company, especially in software, starts putting dates for accountability, because it's very hard to meet those deadlines, but I appreciate that we can now understand where they're going to be emphasizing their efforts here for the project. So really good stuff. You can see how this deep dive is well supported by all the information provided here. There's no real issue here. We can really scan through all of this and get through it. So let's continue. Bugs and security, frequently asked questions. What we got here: supply area, pre-sale take place. You can see a lot of information, good useful links, social media platforms, blockchain explorer, which I already have up. We can take a look at that. Mexi Global, all of that good stuff. Run a node. Okay, good stuff. Honestly, so far a lot of information here was definitely provided, and no real need to kind of dig around. Now, I wish there was a little bit more information on the team right on the website, and I wasn't able to get that. So let's see if we can go back to the main website, and you can see that they do have a LinkedIn. Now, let me click that quickly, and let's see what kind of you can see that they have their own area here, and if you go to people, you're gonna see that you have profiles that you could check out, but for some reason on my end they're locked, but it's all good. I know of ways that you can get access to them, and they are open if you have the right connections here on LinkedIn. And the team is solid, guys. For the most part, there's a lot of new individuals to the space, especially when it comes to developers, but there's a lot of individuals that are well versed in the crypto space and in TradFi and so on and so forth. The team is solid, young and ready and hungry, ready to go. So I really like that, fresh minds, fresh ideas and all that. So I'm hoping that these individuals are going to be pushing this to the next level. I like the fact that even that the marketing head of marketing is very active on socials, doing answering questions and all of that, ask me anything type of questions, which is really good. So yeah, the team is solid, generally speaking. Solid team. What else do we got here on the website? And that's about it, guys. Honestly, let's take a look at the AREON scanner. We got a decent, well-built scanner. What bothers me is the transaction chart. You can see the transactions the last 24 to 48 hours have been kind of declining. I'm not sure why it's the case, but the market in general, you got to admit, the last 24 hours of 48 hours have been a little bit, not the greatest, right? So we're seeing that the market's falling just a little bit. So this could be a buy the dip opportunity. Let's take a look at the accounts. You can see that the wallets that are being held, we have the first one, ecosystem development. We know that it's locked. Mexi needs their liquidity. The team is locked. The backers are locked. The emergency fund is not locked. And I'm just not sure where this fits into their schematic, but it's 9%. And I'm assuming that it has something to do with some sort of one of those categories, maybe mixed together somehow, or they just changed the name. The community is locked. Company reserve 4%. Maybe that's the issue, the 4%, and the emergency fund. Maybe somehow all of these amalgamated in some sort of way. Listing and equity is locked 4%. 360-day pool, and then you can start to see that the rest of the wallets are very small. Right? Even Bitmart, look how small it is, 0.33. Like, we're getting into small liquidity. So that means that ultimately, after you get all of this necessity, all these all these pools done, really, the wallet distribution is pretty healthy. We're getting into less than 1%, less than 20% after this, really. So it's not a very centralized let's say, especially when it comes to governance, it's not very centralized in that case, right? Because you got a lot of token holders, a lot of different wallets holding, which is good, nice and decentralized. Good stuff there. What else do we got here? Nothing really that important. There's a couple of other things like contracts, validators, nodes. If you want to kind of check into where all the nodes are located, the majority of them are all the way up here. Some of them are here. Or is it the Brazil? We got, what is this? What is the legend here? Anyways, pretty good blockchain transactions. Let's see what we got here. A lot of different transactions happening all the time. So I like the scanner. It has a lot of good information. Not bad. Let's see what else do we got here at the AREON Network. Do we got anything else on the website? I think we covered it all. This is a sign of a good, well-structured website. Number one, of course, we can critique the website here for a second, and the overall project is nice and clear, and the areas of ambiguity were well defined so that we can be quite confident. All right, guys, you guys know that I do release one of my infographics here every week, and let's go take a look. So ultimately, we have a scenario, right? We have a scenario where we can see that the project has a lot of good, metrics. Generally speaking, their ecosystem is solid for its size. What they got going on is pretty solid. Okay, we have the rewards. A lot of utility, rewards, transaction fees, burning, governance, lots of utility. What is the token used for? Pretty much all the main things that all layer ones do, and for that matter, they've covered all of their bases. Especially, I like the fact that they have a really good, strong burning mechanism. For me, that's a good one. So a lot of good stuff here with the ecosystem utility roadmap is clear. A lot of good things up and coming. We have historical roadmaps so that we can see if they've been hitting their milestones. They've put dates and times so that we know exactly when they plan on getting these things accomplished, so that we know where they're going to be allocating their efforts. Really good stuff. The team is solid, guys. Although not the easiest to find, some of those profiles can't be clicked very easily for some individuals like myself for some reason, but the team is docs on LinkedIn if you can navigate it somehow. A strong background in the blockchain, in marketing, was particularly in the marketing side of things. Some of the blockchain developers, full stack developers, fresh new ideas for sure, new into the space, some new, some a little bit older, but just totally fine. All good stuff, especially with the new project. That's what you're going to get. Nice young individuals ready to hustle. So the COO worked for Ethereum, guys. That's bullish, and a Bitcoin Foundation, bullish, right? We got somebody there that has some experience in the overall space. The only thing that kind of bothers me again is that it would have been nice to have a lot more transparency on the team. And I understand, according to the Discord, when I went on there to ask about the team, a lot of them do appreciate their privacy, and it's understood. It's totally understood that some people want privacy, but when you're talking about a level of centralization, even if it's a small amount, we really want to know who's making those decision making when things hit the fan, right? So we really want to know what's happening there. But still, great team overall, super bullish. Socials doing pretty good. However, we got to understand that there's a time for the market to dip, and there's a time for the market to rally. The fact is that it has 82,000 followers, not bad for its size. But when things are coming down and the market is coming down, it's not time to just chill out, right? It's time to actually get aggressive and start really maintaining the trend in their social presence, right? So we can see in the last 30 days, their posts, their active posts. So the last line right here, they only did it 25 times in the last 30 days, and they're down 30% from the previous month, which means previous month when the market was decent, they were a lot more active, which is for me a bit concerning, because this is when you should be in fact more active than the past. Get out there, get some campaigns going, do something happen, and it requires a marketing team. And when you're talking about a decentralized organization, who's the marketing team? Right? And as soon as you can define who the marketing team is, you lose that level of decentralization. So I don't know how they're balancing this. Is there a team? How does this work? Where are they putting their efforts, and so on and so forth? They need a bit of a campaign going on, or to have a campaign ready to go on days where we see the market looking a little bit weak. And you can see that overall their followers in the last 30 days are down 32% in comparison to the last 30 days, down 5%, 5,000 followers in 30 days, guys. That's significant. So why is that the case? I know the price action lately on this particular project on Area has been grinding down significantly in a descending wedge, and we'll talk about the price action in a second, and that could definitely get people to capitulate and move on and totally look the other way. And in the other hand, things that's when you should probably be focusing on accumulating and buying the dip, learning about the project, and getting fundamentally bullish. And that's why we're doing this here right now. Tokenomics, good stuff. Good coin distribution, investing schedule, nice and clear. Good coin distribution on wallets. It's definitely decentralized and deflationary. Big part of what I like about the entire project is that you can see how important the deflationary aspect was in the way the metrics were, because ultimately, as a token tokens get unlocked in this project, it's going to cause a bit of sell pressure. But if it's deflationary, at the end of the day, we'll have a bit of that counterbalance, which is good. 10 out of 10 for that. Partnership still new, so you could take this, both of these, you can take these with a grain of salt. Why? Because they're very new. So what happens is, even for that matter, do they need partnerships? Are they in that phase where they actually need them? They're trying to build their own ecosystem. They're trying to build their own native ecosystem, which as of now, they're doing a great job. I do see that there's one partnership that I kind of like, and I seen that on their X account, Code X Chain, build dApps without code. I find that to be a really good thing. Now, of course, traditional developers, you know, they think, you know, what drag and drop type of coding type of thing, you know, it's not the greatest. I get it, but barriers to entry for ecosystem growth, guys. That's all I think about. If we can reduce the barriers to entry, that means the ecosystem grows faster, and hopefully we can maintain the quality of the dApps, the applications that are built, even though it is a scenario where you don't need any code to build, right? Usually when you think about no code to build, you start to think the quality starts to diminish, because when you're going to those high level type of languages that don't require code, you kind of reduce the control, and you reduce the amount of detail that you can get or access to the functions, right? So for me, a bit of an iffy scenario, but nonetheless, partnerships, there's not much happening there other than I feel that they're really focusing on their internal growth, which is good still. 4 out of 10, not because it's bad, but just because there is not much happening there with that regard. And I encourage that, you know, those partnerships, those strategic partnerships be emphasized. You know, don't put all kinds of logos on the website that are not strategic partnerships. Give them their separate section, but if there are any strategic partnerships, emphasize those, give them importance. Make them clickable, and give them a bit of give people a snippet of how that partnership is strategic, and that way we can get fundamentally bullish on those partnerships. You know, putting Mexi as a partner, that's not a partnership. That's not a strategic partnership in my book. Let's move on. 5 out of 10 for exchanges. Not because, again, this is not a good start for such a project. It's just because there's a lot more opportunity there with regards to, you know, offering the market some liquidity. No major exchange listings just yet. So no Binance or Coinbase, which means there's a lot more still to be had. Not even a... There's KuCoin missing. There's a lot of other exchanges missing. They have Mexi and BitGet and Bitmart, but Mexi, okay, one of the bigger ones nowadays, coming up pretty hard and offering a lot of, you know, a lot of liquidity to the market, which is okay, but still there's a lot of opportunity there. So again, you could take this with a grain of salt. Is this an opportunity or is this a weakness? If you're looking for liquidity, sometimes this is a weakness, because you won't be able to buy and sell very quickly, given the fact that their largest exchange right now is pretty much Mexi. How much liquidity can they offer if people want to take profits all at once? Right, that's the problem. Where if you're on Binance or Coinbase, they're going to have the liquidity for you to buy and sell very quickly, and that gives you a sense of security. So this is where the benefits and drawbacks are, and this is why I give it a 5 out of 10. All right, so guys, let's move on. Some of the coin info, I got a lot of this on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. Just make sure that you take all of that information on those websites with a grain of salt, because sometimes they're not accurate. Area is the ticker. The price right now, as we speak, it's at about 11 cents. When I created this, it was a little lower, but all good, still within the right range. Market cap is 12.5 million. So very small, very small. Trading volume is decent. I like around 10%. Now, you know, 7% is still good, because you want 7 to 10 or 10% of the overall market cap. You want to see volume. Like I said, you want to see liquidity, buying and selling. You want to see that activity. And if that activity is there, it gives you a sense of confidence that, again, there's a healthy, let's say, community. There's a healthy community. There's a healthy place to be able to buy and sell quickly. And that's what you really want. The supply, 49% of the tokens are in circulating supply. So there are 50% of them, more or less, are out there. We're waiting for the other 50 to be unlocked and distributed to the market bit by bit based on their vesting schedule, which is okay. Max supply, 250 million, fully diluted, $25 million, fully diluted valuation, guys. It's still very small. As you can see, there's a lot of potential growth here for this layer 1, and they got a lot of good things happening for it, right? So let's move on. Let's see my overall verdict here, guys. My verdict, it's a layer 1 metaverse smart contract, EVM compatible. Let's add that in there, making sure that we understand that that does offer a lot of benefits for our ecosystem growth. Burning occurs 4 times a year based on transactions. Deflation will continue until total supply. This is the most bullish thing that I find with regards to its token metrics. I appreciate this. We're gonna have this this deflationary aspect to ensure that the market, the tokens kind of put that pressure to increase in value. Unique point of proof of area consensus mechanism. Guys, we talked about that. Just as a summary, just understand that if you're a staker, you're a holder, you are basically allocated a certain amount of area in the AREON city, and in this area, in this space, in this metaverse, you are able to do many things. Now, exactly as an example, guys, I think we're still very new here to see exactly how the full potential of this area and what can be done, but that is the value proposition behind being a holder. Now you can also get involved in governance. You can get obviously rewards and many other factors if you are a staker and if you are a land holder in this metaverse space in the AREON city. Okay, so that mechanism is quite unique. I don't see much happening there, especially on base layers, layer one smart contract platforms integrating metaverse into their ecosystem that way. The metaverse concept could be one that the market is not interested in. That's what kind of bothers me a little bit. Like, it's not a lot, but it's a little bit. It's there. Like, I'm like that metaverse idea, the meta and all of that didn't really pick up with strength in the previous bull run, and it ended off pretty sour, pretty salty. So for me, I'm a little bit on the fence on that idea, but still the project is solid. If it's going to be any project to bring some light back into the metaverse concept and narrative, it could be AREON. Honestly, it looks pretty good. Many relationships listed, however, clarity would be useful. Like I mentioned, those relationships, strategic partnerships, all of that. I encourage all projects to kind of resolve that issue because it looks gimmicky and it doesn't look genuine, right? You're not going to cluster a bunch of logos in there and not tell us how useful they are to the actual utility of the project. You know, Mexi and all of this is not a partnership, and it doesn't add real much value to the base technology of the project itself. It just provides liquidity, and although it is important, any exchange can provide liquidity, and for that matter, a DEX can as well. So let's move on from there. My prediction, obviously, guys, take this also with a grain of salt. If this project gets even remotely near to a healthy other layer one, no project to be using as a benchmark, let's say it gets to a $1 billion market cap, we can see this thing at $8 very easily. Yes, it's 78x. We can do 100x here, but you know what? Let's be modest here. Let's just be modest. If we get to about $5, I would be quite happy here. I would be super happy with the fact that it made some great gains, and I would be starting to get into a defensive strategy. These predictions and these targets, guys, they really have to be taken with a grain of salt, because we got to wait for how this market actually behaves when we start getting to those large levels, those higher levels, particularly Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of that. We want to see the overall market sentiment once we get to those zones. So the best thing to do, guys, is have an idea. For sure, this is definitely an idea, but nobody has a crystal ball to tell you exact. But when we get to those frothy zones where we see Bitcoin looking a bit weak, consolidating and looking like it might want to roll over, guys, and we're close enough to about $5 to $10 more or less, you know, that is when we should start scaling off our positions and, you know, thanking Area for giving us a great opportunity. Now, I'm hoping to see Area around in the next bull run. We know that that's one of the issues here with new projects. Do they actually have the strength to linger throughout a bear market? And if that's the case, I'm expecting major things here for Area, given the fact that it has every fundamental aspect about the project well intact. So again, first, this is its bull run. Let's see what its first bull run. Let's see what it does in this bull run. I would suggest that you have a strategy to take profit as best as you can at the top of bull run. Let's see how it retraces in the bear market in a few years. And then from there, you can rescale in at a 90% discount. Because if you think that Area can't be bought at lower levels, I think that it could, right? We definitely can. We've seen many projects retrace no matter how bullish, and I will be buying fat bags throughout any retracements on Area. I think it has a really good promising future, and that's why I give it 10 out of 10. It's important to you know, start packing bags here, guys, because we are beginning this bull run and pretty strong, and we see a nice retracements in the last couple of weeks, and we could definitely buy some dips. All right, guys, let's take a look at the price action. I know you're here to talk about price action as well. Let's take a look at this descending wedge to the downside, guys. You know, in these type of scenarios, we got a little bit of a gap here when it went on mainnet. Of course, trading halted, and then we continued after we went on the mainnet. And you can see at the current moment, we're getting a bit of support on the point of control, which is pretty good. You can see all the volume right into here, a lot of market accumulation right in here, market participation is in here. We see that the RSI, the purple line, is definitely into a bit of a dip. Is it going to be done? We got oversold here. Right, we got oversold here. We didn't get completely oversold in this zone. We didn't get completely oversold in this zone, but the momentum did get reset. But as long as we see the RSI stuck in this zone right here, don't expect major volatility. We see the expansion, the bearish expansion here on the daily is still pushing down. So the question is, do we actually see the purple, the RSI, get oversold, or do we get a bounce now like we have done right here? So this is the difficult part, is that there's no real certainty. And in fact, in any position that you build, there's no certainty, but probability, statistically speaking, you have to understand that there is a chance that we come down to oversold conditions like we have done down here. And there is a chance that we get a bounce like we have done here and here. So you can see that there's a mixed type of scenario. And this is why, obviously not financial advice, guys, but I always say DCA. This is not a bad time to buy the dip. If you do get that bounce that I'm suggesting, that we see that the MACD get an EMA cross with one green histogram bar to the upside, we start to get really, really bullish. We see a bit of a volume gap suggesting that we could get back to these higher levels and maybe start testing the 200 daily EMA, which is that orange line, and maybe start breaking a character of this structure by making a higher high. That is the first indication of a pivot point, as a change of character. And so far, we're still making lower lows and lower highs, and we're trying to confirm this higher low. If we get this higher low right here, guys, it's our first indication that maybe we're changing trends here, and that we're going to be looking for a higher high, a higher low, higher high, trend is your friend, and start bouncing to the upside and breaking out of this descending wedge in a very bullish way. So I feel like we're a bit early here to expect massive moves. But look, the volume right into here and the growth of this volume right into this zone suggests that the market is ready to start accumulating and to start expecting a break of horizontal resistance. And the reality is, because it's a diagonal resistance line right here, it's very difficult. I feel like that if we break above 18 cents, it's going to be a lot easier to break all these other little tops, all these other little areas of resistance, but expect a few peaks and valleys and expect a bit of a resistance along the way. But that's the goal, guys. That's the goal. The goal is eventually to break above about 18 cents and then start running to the upside. And as we pick up bullish bids down here and a lot of market participation, we should have the strength to break out of these little horizontal areas of resistance very easy. Guys, I'm bullish on AREON. I like the concept. You know, overall, you know, this is the time to be taking risk anyway on projects, especially ones that have good fundamentals, and AREON is definitely one of them. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor and slap the like button. And of course, I'm going to be live tonight at 7:30 Eastern talking about crypto news and price action. If you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Guys, join that Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setup, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.